What's up, everybody, and welcome to my Bound for Glory 2016 review. Reactions was a little bit tough, but I did enjoy the show tonight. And we kicked it off with the show as the crowd was ready to go down tonight with it and talking about Matt Hardy, talking about the Great War fairy tale to his son he was reading to, and how the battle of the K, how they would battle the K, and who will win or lose, and who will be deleted. But we kicked off the show first with the X Division Championship on the line. Last minute match to enter the show was DJ Zima Ion versus Trevor Lee for the X Division Championship, which was actually a really good match, even though X Divisions always kind of kick off the pay-per-view most of the time and get the crowd hyped up and everything. Some guys, at least this time, before with these pay-per-views, it wasn't a bunch of multiple X Division guys in the match just flying all over the place just because. So, because they usually get a spot fest to do it, but they actually really had a really good match out there. And Zima Ion picking up the win. I really like how that I don't know what Trevor Lee was going for, but I guess it was gonna be a Frankensteiner maybe, but it looked like it hit a Canadian destroyer, and then he went back and hit that ZDT for the win. Even when Lee did that double stomp thing, which was awesome. I always love seeing that move. But I think it was a really great match, really good match. And, I still think they build up Trevor Lee, but at least a step in the right direction other than sending all the X Division guys out to do some multi-man spot fest and some gauntlet or Ultimate X every other week this time, especially in your biggest pay-per-view of the year. So, at least they fixed that. Drew Galloway was interviewed. He will not be wrestling due to injury. And, he doesn't feel very good because he got hurt before, the biggest show of the year, and that TNA management called him a liability, and he said he should be the have the grand championship. And he said the only reason why Billy Corgan is buying the company is because of him. So I guess Galloway may have slipped it out there, and hopefully that Billy Corgan has bought TNA Wrestling to save it. So he said, the champion won't be recognized tonight because he felt like he should have got the shot. But Drew Galloway's knee is really hurt. I don't know if he's going to be out for an entire year in that, but his knee, he really did fuck up his knee in a knee injury. The Bound for Gold Gauntlet match for whoever wins a future TNA title shot, which was pretty much 10 guys in the ring, as we kicked it off with Jesse Goddard and Rockstar Spud to start off. Braxton Sutter came out, and then Jesse Goddard, which only Sutter was not eliminated already, but we had people from Eli Drake coming in, the odds-on favorite in my opinion, for this match. Robbie E. then, Robbie E. Baron Dax, and what's the other guy there? Sylvester Fort. But when Grado came out, Grado literally walked out to the ring and pretty much got thrown out and danced on the way out, which I think people really do like Grado, but then they started chanting bullshit then, which was pretty bad. Didn't like that. But when the Bromance getting eliminated and Tyrus coming out, was cleaning house then out there. Tyrus came out, then Mahabali Shera, but when it kind of got to the ending of the match after Shera was taken out by Tyrus, it began the final three between Eli Drake, Jesse Goddard, and Tyrus, which Eli Drake was able to take both of them out then. At the same time, winning the Bound for Gold, which I think the right guy went over because Eli Drake has a following. Make sure you buy the dummy button online right now. Yeah, dummy, dummy, dummy. Yeah, dummy, dummy, dummy. This is really fun to use. And I think I don't know where it's going to go as a face or a heel, but I like Eli Drake. People do the dummy thing, and they usually follow along with the guy. And people, yeah, I think I'm a fan of the guy, right? I like Eli Drake. The guy's got a gift of gab. The guy's a great talker. I'll give him that. The guy's a really great talker out there. Um, JB was in the back doing multiple interviews all night as he talked to Gail Kim's husband, Chef Robert Irvine, which, he's Mr. Gail Kim tonight technically because his wife is going in until Mike Bennett and Maria pretty much told him to go away, as Mike Bennett said he was going to beat Moose tonight and Maria will retain the Knockouts Championship against the Knockouts Championship against Gail Kim later on. But as we move on to the next match, which was Moose versus Mike Bennett. Mike Bennett came out, and Moose came out with an entire football team, the West Orange High School football team, which they all did his entrance and did the Moose, which was a really good match because it went back and forth and didn't look like no was really going to win. But Moose was able to get the win with the game changer, he calls it, the giant clothesline move to beat Bennett. Bennett and the crowd pretty much was chanting Moose the whole way. So it was a pretty good match. A pretty good match, I'll say that. And now I think, which was a really kind of bad match, dude, what kind of almost killed this pay-per-view tonight. Aaron Rex versus Eddie Edwards for the first ever TNA Grand Championship, which they had 5-minute rounds. But it looked like the crowd was with Eddie, but when it kind of got bad and the lights somewhat went out through the match, which, it's not doing TNA any favors right now, fans started to chant, "Pay your light bill, pay your light bill," which I'm sure drew off a lot of people. But when it kind of got near the end, it went to let them fight. And it looked like people were more with Eddie Edwards through this thing, which was a split decision, but Aaron Rex was the winner of it. Fans did look like they kind of didn't really like it. Either yes or no. You see them do something. So Edwards is a warrior, he's a star, and he would give him his rematch whenever he wants it. But he said this is the first part of history. Stay tuned. Honestly, I think this match could have been better if Galloway would have been in it. I don't take away from both of them. They had a somewhat good match, but I think if Galloway did not get hurt, I think it would have been a better match with him and Aaron Rex. So it really sucks that Drew Galloway was hurt and could not compete tonight. But it just, I don't think the crowd just cared. The finish wasn't that well, and maybe it should have just been a regular match. The TNA Hall of Fame induction ceremony happened as Christy Hemme came out, which she returned tonight, and she talked about Gail Kim's accomplishments and everything. But when it kind of went into she also brought out, past foes of Gail Kim. Taryn Terrell came out, which she had some really great matches out there. Labeled Gail Kim as a career maker and kind of made Taryn Terrell in a way. With Mad Bound for Glory, another one of Gail Kim's greatest rivals in TNA, which people have loved to see their matches all the time. Awesome Kong came out this time without them to, braids or anything. She comes out with just kind of some type of hair she came out with, and she says there's not enough adjectives in English language to describe how Gail Kim is, and Gail Kim is the yin to her yang, and she deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. Dixie Carter came out, which people booed at and probably did delete chants because we don't know where it is with her. Nobody can't really trust Dixie Carter right now with TNA. You sure can't trust Vince McMahon with it. So Dixie was booed, and she said this is night for Gail Kim, for her, which she has established and defined the Knockouts division, the combination of beauty, brains, and athleticism. As Gail Kim came out in news interviews by Carter, Gail Kim hugged all of them, calling the fans chanting, "You deserve it," And then they played a video package with Pat Kenny or Simon Diamond, Jade, Al Snow, Billy Corgan, and Dave Lagana, as the fans still had chanted for her and they, cheered her on. Gail Kim did have a list of people she wanted to thank. And, it was good they gave Gail Kim the time, to thank these people. People from Finley to Scott D'Amore, Jeff Jarrett, crew, the production, Pat Kenny, Dutch Mantell, everybody. Even people she worked with WWE, from Trish Stratus to Molly Holly to Victoria, her stepdaughter's goddaughter, and really special shout out to Molly Holly, because she said, if you're a good person, you'll go far in this business. And she thanked the company. She talked about the division that was started way back in 2007 for the Knockouts, and she was the first ever TNA Knockouts champion. And pretty much gave Dixie Carter gave her a watch, and Gail Kim's music played then, and she got her time to talk, and it was cool to see Awesome Kong out there and Terrence Herrera to return for this thing, because those are two of Gail Kim's greatest rivals in matches she's had with them, and it's really good. And they pretty much let her talk out there, just for a good ceremony, and people respected her, and they did like it. So Gail Kim really did deserve to go in the TNA Hall of Fame. I'll give her that. She really did deserve it, especially the first female to go in there. But then it was time, probably the match of the night, really, the Great War. Oh man, the Great War. So you can Great War, the Great War. It was gonna be delete, obsolete, delete, obsolete, delete, obsolete, delete, obsolete. And as Reby came out and played the piano, Matt Hardy came out next, and then Brother Nero singing the song, I'll fade away and classify myself as obsolete, obsolete. As Reby was playing the piano, the fans all started chanting obsolete or delete, delete, and had a broken section sign. As the Decay came out then in the Great War, this was going to be for the TNA Tag Team titles, as pretty much they surrounded the Decay, but they pretty much spat mist into Reby's eye, then they had to take her out of there. As the Hardys battled the Decay, then Rosemary did a man Terminator from the top rope with a trash can on top of, I believe, Matt's face. Abyss had a staple gun and used it on Jeff then while he was on the ground. As the match went on, this is where it got when it went to the back. Abyss tried to put Matt into a trash can and started punching the ref, and fans were just trying to follow with the cameras going to him, as Crazy Steve and Jeff fought to somewhere in the arena where this lake of reincarnation happened, which Jeff Hardy was getting beat up by Steve then. And then they went to Matt Hardy and Abyss fighting in front of the Universal Studios Resort sign somewhere. I don't know how they got that far, as Crazy Steve pretty much spat into that lake water and was going to throw it on Jeff, but Jeff was not behind the crate then. Well, I guess he threw it on him, but he wasn't there. But then when they kind of went back, Jeff Hardy was throwing pumpkins at Crazy Steve then. And this weird jester, Jeff Hardy, showed up with goggles and said, hey, yo, man, Jeff Hardy, my friend, man, he'll kick your ass, man. You know what I mean, man? I'm talking right here, man. I don't know what he is, man. I'm gonna beat you up, man. Like, I don't know what version of Jeff Hardy was this. I don't know who he was, or whatever Jeff's alter egos at this point, but this crazy Jeff Hardy came out and fought him. And we went to a parking lot then, somewhere near Ferris wheel on Universal Studios, where Matt and pretty much Abyss fought by a truck. If it was a U-Haul truck, as Rosemary, I don't know how Rosemary got here and there, but Rosemary pretty much helped attack Jeff then. No, Rosemary, here's the thing with Rosemary, she helped try to fight Jeff, but then, which was pretty weird, and this is just going insane at this point. Jeff Hardy put a pumpkin on Rosemary's head, but she pretty much spat mist into Jeff's face and disappeared. And Jeff was pretty much punching Crazy Steve, saying delete, delete, delete. But Abyss pretty much will start beating up Matt then at a truck and says, you're going to see who's get deleted, as they're going to take the Janice weapon and hit Matt Hardy till some random dude pulled up in a truck saying, like, yo, man, with Matt Hardy, man, you gonna get deleted, man. You go get deleted. Rosemary threw him into a bush somewhere. And then another alter ego of Jeff Hardy showed up. The Willow returned. Which was another crazy thing. And then Matt Hardy, he's got fireballs in his hand and threw it at Janice, and they dropped in the middle of the road as they fought on the back of a driving truck. Somewhere. They pulled up into another lot. Rosemary got out the car. Vanguard 1 was back again to reclaim vengeance on Rosemary, as this time the drone shot miss into Rosemary's eyes, saying the money shot, booyah. And this is just going crazy. It pretty much went back to Jeff and Crazy Steve, which they finally make it back into the arena. As the crowd pretty much, I guess they were watching on the screen the whole time, but when they came back, they all chanted TNA, TNA, TNA. But Steve was taking out Willow. Then next thing you know, Matt Hardy returned with the truck with Abyss and Rosemary as they went back to the ring and fought, hitting a twist of fate on Abyss. Then Jeff hit a Swanton Bomb with a Poetry in Motion, but Abyss pretty much chokeslammed both the Hardy Boys and used Crazy Steve as a weapon to chokeslam them. But as they moved on, thumbtacks got involved, barbed wires, as Matt had the thumbtacks and put them on one of the barbed wire boards to hit a side effect on Abyss onto it and hit an elbow drop and still kicked out. But Rosemary came out to break up the pin in. But when Matt Hardy pretty much stood over Rosemary, Reby came back to the ring, put Rosemary through a table, and pretty much went delete, 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 delete. The fans went insane with the delete chants. It's going to be back in my ring, as Matt put Crazy Steve's head into one of those chairs and threw it onto the ground, and the fans chanted, "This is awesome." But this is where it gets more to the insanity, the craziness. It's everywhere. This is everything the Great War promised and what I wanted to see out of this. And they delivered on this whole match. Pretty much Matt set up 2 tables, and Jeff had a giant ladder. Pretty much Matt held the ladder. Jeff climbed up it and did a Swan Tom Bon. Because Matt pretty much told Jeff that you must indulge on the tables, the ladders, and the chairs addiction for one night only. He says, being a spot monkey, I believe. And they did a Swanton Bomb. It was 1, 2, 3. It was over, and they held the tag team titles and brought even King Maxwell in the ring to celebrate. So it's that insane that the fans were even out of the building to wrestle, and people still loved it. And I've seen video footage of people that was in there loving what was going on and everything. And when they came back into the arena, the fans still went ballistic and started chanting TNA then when it happened. So it was an insane of a match, and the Great War delivered everything that was promised. It was insane. Everything just happened, from pumpkins, Lake Reincarnation, water, 3 to 4 versions of Jeff Hardy from the Willow, this Jester version, and Brother Nero. Crazy dudes getting out of a car. Vanguard 1. Oh, we needed Senor Benjamin. He wish we could have had Senor Benjamin here. He would have been great. Driving on a road. Universal Studios. Mist. Where do you go on? Pianos. The insanity of this match is insane. It is insane. And I just don't know where you can keep going with all of this, but it was enjoyable. It was enjoyable. I will give you that. It was crazy out there. Next thing you know, then the next match on the card Maria versus Gail Kim for the TNA Knockouts Championship, which Allie was out there and people were with Allie throughout most of the match chanting for her, but Maria tried to say we can't do this match because her hand is still broken, but Allie pretty much said, you misunderstood the doctor. She said you were cleared. As Maria called Allie stupid and wanted her to get in the ring and she wasn't going to get in there, but Gail Kim attacked it in throughout the match until Mike Bennett tried to come out and interfere, but when Allie was supposed to throw the brace that Maria was using for her hand after she knocked Gail Kim down with it, she missed and threw it at Gail Kim, which Gail was going to give it back to Maria, but she threw the brace somewhere and hit the Eat Defeat, becoming a 6-time TNA Knockouts champion. So at least she's the first woman to hold the title from the beginning all the way to now, 6 times. But after the match, Bennett was pissed and he says, I'm going to stop the show tonight, alright? I am tired of all you sick freaks. I'm shutting down Bound for Glory, and there's no one that's going to stop me. But the lights went out then. And who could it be? The debut of Cody and Brandi Rhodes as they came out in their ring gear. Cody pretty much got into Mike Bennett's face, and Maria was getting Cody's face, but Brandi stepped in. Maria had slapped Brandi, but Brandi pretty much slapped her and hit her with a knee, then throwing her out of the ring. Cody and Bennett threw punches at each other. Next thing you know, Cody hit a beautiful disaster kick, knocking him out of the ring as the crowd went nuts for both Cody Rhodes and Brandi, which it was a really great debut for them too. So I'm really looking forward to their matches, match when it happens with Rhodes and Bennett. Really looking forward to that because Cody made a great debut tonight at Bound for Glory for TNA. And next thing you know was the main event. The main event, EC3 versus Bobby Lashley for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship in a no-holds-barred match, which initially, before EC3 was even announced, Lashley took him out and told Borash to pretty much announce him. But then, as the ref tried to help up EC3 he said, ring the fucking bell! As they pretty much went at each other. Lashley was just dominating out there, really. Dominating. Even when he got to the steps to do the TK3, he pretty much called Lashley, you stupid piece of shit. Which was a really solid match. I'll say that. Really great match. Really great main event. Not the best one, but when I thought EC3 was going to get it, but after Bobby Lashley hit over 3 spears and EC3 thought he was going to get the 1%er off the top of the rope, Bobby Lashley pretty much shoved EC3 down and hit a flying spear, pinning him clean, which I even thought EC3 was going to win, but instead of doing the whole typical, title chase thing and get it at the big pay-per-view, the chase continues then. Which I'm saying now, Lashley's probably the most dominant world champion they got in this company, and it's good that they kept the belt on him because people thought he was going to win, and some people think he could have got it now, this is the biggest show of the year. But now, let's keep this going. EC3 is still for the chase of the title, and maybe they're going to get more hyped when it happens before he even gets to the title. But for now, it's great that they keep the belt on Bobby Lashley and everything. I'll say that. Best they keep it on him because the guy is just too dominant right now. So, and it was a clean win. No ref bumps, no run-ins, no type of retarded finishes out there. Just him beating him clean for the title. So, EC3 did look strong in defeat. And I know this is the biggest word that's been going around all night about who is the company sold to. And I hope it is Billy Corgan from what the little subtle jabs we gave out tonight for this. But, it's a shame that this whole sale thing had to overshadow this pay-per-view. Because I think people should have just cared more about the pay-per-view and enjoy that. Than worry about the whole, is TNA gonna sell, or is WWE gonna take them, or people think this is gonna be the final time. I'm hoping Billy Corgan has this and whatever's gonna go down, but we did still see Dixie tonight, and the only time Billy Corgan was out there was through the Gail Kim video package. So Gail Kim, I know, not Gail Kim, but Billy Corgan, we know who was there mostly tonight backstage. and hopefully he has purchased the company. As you know, Drew Galloway put a subtle jab out there tonight with the ownership, but instead of focusing on the ownership, the biggest thing tonight was focusing on the quality of the pay-per-view. The match was really good. The Great War was probably the match of the night. The main event was really, really great. We got to see the debut of Cody and Brandi Rhodes. Brandi Rhodes, a good X Division match, I'll say that. First Grand Championship, I wasn't really all that satisfied with the match. I don't think fans were the biggest fan of it anyways. The Grand Championship between Eddie Edwards and Aaron Rex, I think it would have been better if, you know, if Drew Galloway was cleared to wrestle, and I think it probably would have been a better match. I think Eli Drake was the right man to win Bound for Gold. And, you know, that's pretty much it for the pay-per-view, really, for Bound for Glory. Bound for Glory. And I enjoyed it. I wish I could have got the live reactions, but there was a problem with internet controls and, you know, stuff like that, getting the connection and everything. But I enjoyed the pay-per-view tonight. I enjoyed the Great War, which I was just laughing and wondering what was going to happen next, of the insanity of what Matt Hardy will think of next and what they can do, especially live on pay-per-view, that they made this whole Great War thing work with the production they did. I don't know how they did it, that they left and came back to the ring, because they, you know, we know this stuff's probably pre-recorded anyways with the Great War and the footage they used, but the fact that they did it live on pay-per-view on TV is crazy, and the match still went on and everyone enjoyed it and went nuts. But that's my pay-per-view for Bound for Glory tonight. I really enjoy it. Hopefully, you know, this whole sales thing stops and Billy Corgan has full control of the company, and, you know, we move on for the future and we keep going with TNA. Like, it's better to have it business than no business, really. Like, come on. It's like I said in the video before. If you really want Vince to take it, let's be serious now. Like, come on, let's do that, because they'll just bury these guys and just ruin a lot of people's careers then, really. So, let's be glad we got Bound for Glory tonight. Let's be glad that this pay-per-view that had happened. Let's be glad that the Great War did go down. And let's move on forward and we keep this show going week by week by week. I really want to see more Cody Rhodes in there and see what the Hardys will do next. And see what Bobby Lashley's next opponent, they got anybody left to face him. But I'm out of here. I'll see you guys later. Peace.